This is how you should not fight for position and how you should fight for position. This last weekend, we had the first round of the Motor Racing Academy League, which is a championship made for the Academy members to practice their racecraft. And in this video, we have 3 Motor Racing Academy coaches roasting your moves and helping you improve your racecraft. According to the concepts that I teach in the Motor Racing Academy, racecraft means fighting with others, fighting for position, and learning how to position your car to have predictable moves, to stay ahead more effectively, and to protect yourself against accidents. The objective of this video is not to tell who's at fault, but to help both drivers or all 3 drivers involved in these accident or battles how to improve their positioning so that they can get better outcomes in the next races. Lap 1, turn 1.
Oh, so it's getting spicy up front. There's some 3 wide. And Suleiman's looking for that inside line, which I like. I like the line here.
No! It was... What do you think?
I think initial gut reaction, right? Suleiman was not a little unprepared for the field checking up because there are a lot of cars breaking into turn 1. That caught him off guard and he panicked. It looked like he panicked a little bit and got off to the grass because he didn't really need to. Like, he could have made that line work just barely.
I don't think this is the cause of the incident though. Like, yeah, sure, you braked in the grass, but you're pointing forward, and by the time you get here, your speed is exactly the same speed of the guys on the on besides you. So like, you're still valid to, you're still entitled for the inside. I think what happened here is, well, first of all, I would blame more Edward for this. Like, he knows there's someone here. There's someone here. There's someone here. There's someone here. But it's a 3 wide in such a small track.
Here's the thing. If I'm 3 wide on such a small track, I don't want to be giving somebody else the opportunity to come down on me. If I'm 3 wide on this kind of a corner, if I'm doing it, I want to be set up so that I'm right next to the other guy on entry, so that if anything, he's scared to turn in. Right now, Suleiman is kind of scared to come back on track. I want the guy in the middle to be scared to turn in. Like, oh, I can't make a mistake turning in too early because if I do, we'll crash. That way, he'll be a little bit more careful instead of what happens here where he feels super confident. He cuts you off a little bit too much and you just get unlucky. You get turned. He doesn't. Yeah, I think it's his fault. But I think there could have been a different outcome with a more like calculated start to this.
The only problem is that generally when we are 3 wide and then someone doesn't know we are 3 wide, that's where the problem happens. Because right now, this guy here is turning right big time. And then because of that, Edward tries to go to the inside to not hit him. It gets pretty complex. This is a racing incident, honestly. Like, yeah. I don't think... I mean, this is kind of similar to what I did. Okay, let's show that. So I need to show you a similar incident where I'm at fault, big time. Okay, what I did here, let's see. I mean, at this point though, like this is controversial.
Well, you know, I'm giving you a penalty for that. I'm sorry. If I'm the steward, you're getting a penalty for that. That was, look, it could have worked, right? There's a tiny space, and if you had kept all 4 wheels on the asphalt,
I am. Like right now, I claimed it.
Barely. You're not quite there yet, and you're going like back and forth.
Yeah.
You're like not fully presented by the point. I guess you do keep all 4 on the asphalt.
You gotta turn left though. Like, I went here to the inside, boom, and then now he goes left. Wide. But this thing, okay, give me the penalty. I accept the penalty. But if I was the black car and I saw someone diving like that, like crazy, I would protect myself. I wouldn't turn left to be self-pit maneuvered. I would go right or just leave the space and then see what happens. Because like, regardless of who is in the wrong or who's gonna get a penalty, you still want to keep racing, right? So when you turn left here, now he's putting himself in this position because I showed in the mirrors. Half a second after he's closing on me. So like there is time to do something about it. I'm not saying I'm not in the wrong again. I'm just saying that if I were to be in his situation, I would probably give him the space.
Yeah,
how bad of an excuse is that?
No. This is a really important conversation to have, though. Like, we can say who's right and who's wrong, but in the end, like, if I'm racing in PESC or you're racing in real life, you don't really care about who's right and who's wrong. I mean, you do, whatever, but what matters is what the best outcome is for you, given the situation. So do you want to do something like, okay, we review an incident, we say, okay, who gets a penalty, if anybody, and then we like review what each car could have done better?
Yes.
Or like, yeah.
No, that's the main point. Like, I don't care too much about who's in the wrong. I care about, like, in this situation, what could everyone have done better to get a better outcome? Because, like, when you're driving, when you're racing, you don't want to, oh, he's dive bombing me, I'm going to let him crash me because I want him to get a penalty. No, you want to keep racing. Trying to determine who is going to be penalized or whatever should not be the focus of these analysis here. It should be, what can you improve in your racecraft? Because I'm a coach, not a steward. Anyways, I was showing this because I just wanted to compare this. But we didn't crash or anything. Like, everyone stayed on... Never mind. Sorry, man. I mean, yeah, sorry. That was a little bit too aggressive. I just saw the opportunity when I saw you going right. And I was like, this appeared to me as like an evil opportunity to do something. Oh, that was similar. Let's look at this.
Okay. So
You are never doing this corner, bro. Like, I think, okay, what's happening here is a lack of commitment. It's a lack of... You decided to make the overtake way too late. You decided to do something about it way too late. You were like, oh, he's braking early, I'm gonna go to the inside. Instead of like having a plan, maybe. Because like, I mean, I don't think he's braking too late or too early. But what I see is a clumsy change of direction and like, oh, I'm gonna go for it. Maybe not, I'm gonna go for it. Even the engine, you can hear how you even like dab the throttle a little bit here. You see, like you lifted, you accelerated, and then you brake. This is a clear sign of like, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I'm gonna go, since it's already too late. He's already braking, I'm already here, let's do it. But I would definitely penalize you for that, because it was a little bit too clumsy and too last second decision. And you missed the apex big time and you went off actually, so... I mean, yeah, at least... No! No! But I think in this situation here, it would be better to just give the position back. And yeah, this corner is a corner to not fight. Like, it's terrible. It's terrible to fight here. The outcome is always bad. You were in his blind spot as well. He cannot see you here. And then when he sees you, it's now. Like, that's already kind of a little bit too late. So yeah, I would say here, racecraft wise, what you should like focus on is commitment. When you go for a move, you either go, or you don't go at all. Like, don't half go. If you half go for a move, this happens. Like, you're just not in full control. Even if it's an aggressive move, man, you have to go for it. You have to commit for it, because it's better to take charge of it instead of being in this gray area of uncertainty. Oh my god. That was it. There's the main cause is you turn right a little bit, a tiny bit. Like, if you're going 3 wide, you have to go as straight as possible. You were in the worst situation possible because you were like slightly ahead, so any contact is gonna be worse for you because you're here, and then you go right. You see, you suddenly like kind of lose the flow because the guys are going on average more or less to the left because they're trying to set up the kink, and then just go a little bit too aggressive. And then as soon as you get the contact, like there's nothing you can do. Okay, so yeah, for this one, 3 wide is fine. It's a very high risk move when you have 2 fast flat corners. But I think the main cause was you turning a little bit to the right, and I wouldn't blame anyone else apart from the little on the steering. What's next? Oh! What is happening here? What? Oof. He's going straight. Xander is going straight. And then, like, Ashley just turns left a little bit if you look at the steering.
Ever so slight.
Yeah, boom. Yeah, but that's enough. Because, like, Xander, what could you have done here to not be in that situation? First of all, why getting yourself out of the draft? Like, you want to be behind the white car. Like, this whole situation here, there's nothing you can gain by staying and blocking this guy here, or like, it's actually worse because you're giving him the side draft. So you're giving him more speed to pass you. Instead, you should have gone to the left behind the white car to get the draft. And also, like, you guys are teammates. Like, why are, like, help each other? You see the white cars, they're not killing themselves. Yeah, so I would say the big mistake here is not necessarily Ashley killing Xander. I mean, that's a mistake. You had, if this was a fight, Ashley, you have more space. It's difficult to see from the cockpit view, but you have more space, like half a car here to the right, to avoid like scratching that and rubbing like that. But Xander, you should not be here at this point. You should be behind the white car, gaining the draft and gaining speed. So that's the verdict. Any comments, Brian?
Squeezing, like, I see why you want to squeeze going into turn 1. It's just, see if you can do it later. Like, if you can catch some draft here and then maybe squeeze later when you have more control of it over the line, like, that squeeze will be much more intimidating once you're further ahead, right? And you'll get further ahead with that draft. So kind of like Swilio said, just a little bit to add on to it. Like, yeah, use the hell out of that draft and then evaluate what you can do.
Watch the full crash. Oh, because the full crash was fun. Yeah, that was... Oh my god! Bro! What is that?
Okay, he gets there. He backs out. I don't think that move was ever on. I think it was smart to back out. I think you could have tried to keep it, but...
Yeah, it's just a bad place to go, like, unless you're... The only part... Okay, if you're going for it, 2 things. You need to find... First of all, you need to place your car in a line that allows you to carry as much speed as possible. You're going way too much to the inside here. And then now look at this. So you could have gone, like, more or less to the left. But then you're in the middle of the track, you look at that curb, and you see, like, everyone going to the inside. You find yourself in the worst place possible, and then you just back up because you found yourself in a line that didn't give you any confidence. So if you're going for it, you have to be as much as possible to the left, and then not break and commit. Again, it's a matter of commitment. Like, because here what he did is can actually be dangerous. Lack of commitment is most likely gonna make you crash more than commitment. Lack of commitment makes you slow down on the middle of like, just your vision closes in, right? Like, if you're committing, you're looking forward, you're looking for where you want to go, and you boom, 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 you apply the plan. But when you don't commit, your vision closes, you're looking right in front of the car and you're panicking and you're just slowing down. Right now, for sure, you're not looking anywhere here with your eyes. You're just looking to your hood, like right in front, and panicking and waiting for something to happen until you see that now there's no one on the sides. I can go back to my flow. So I guess that's it. It's just a lack of positioning and commitment. Those are the 2 things that I mentioned. Oh!
Mm.
I think the biggest issue with these straight line contacts is when you have a small kink, when you have a small change in direction. Every time we have a small change in direction, if you're not aware of that, then you're doing a 3 wide and everyone turns a little bit on the line of the kink. And if one of the guys goes straight because he's now panicking about the 3 wide and forgets that there's a little turn, that's where accidents happen. So right here, you have a little crest that goes into a turn to the right before the actual corner. So what's happening is, you see now, like, I don't know, I'm not really sure how much that affected the decision of the black car to turn right. He's actually taking a defensive line. He's choosing to take a defensive line, but maybe a little bit too late. And then as this defensive line starts to form, you should follow Sebastian to the right as well. And the fact that we had the kink there also made it even worse. If this corner was fully straight, you would probably even also still have contact, but it would be less dramatic like this. But because there is the kink and the black car is deciding to defend a little bit late, because he's already starting to be side by side, and you don't go to the right as well, those 3 things contributed to the crash. Man, in a situation like this, do you think we would have enough time to react, Kane, to go to the right?
Definitely not. At that point, I think I'm going to be side by side. I think the defensive move was just a little bit too late. You should have committed before the kink.
Yeah. So you're talking about the commitment of the defense.
Yeah, he drifts to the left, then realizes, oh no, I need to defend. But at that time, it's too late.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't blame the blue car. Yeah, and then was this dramatic as well, or was it just a normal crash? Oh, it was fun. Next one. Is that the one? Because you got...
Oh. You hate to see it.
I mean...
There's not a lot that Bardia can do there.
Yeah, Sebastian, like, look at the brake lights, man. The brake lights tell you everything. If you see them, you have to do something about it. Look, he started braking here. You started braking here. Like, that's like a whole 100 meters before you got into braking. So I think that was the main... This just looks like a brain fart, though. Like, I think you just forgot. You just realized. Yeah, this was a brain fart. So I don't think there's any bad intentions or whatever. It's just like you forgot to brake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh! And then the decision to dive bomb after, I think I would have done the same thing. Because at this point, there's nothing you can do, really.
You could have done the same thing, but to the right instead of the left.
Mm-hmm.
To the right?
Yep.
I would never, as a racing driver.
Yeah, no, I mean, it would have been a bad move, but once you miss the braking point, at least that avoids contact.
If I know for sure I've braked too late and I'm not going to make the apex, I'm going to sacrifice myself. I'm just going to accept I made the mistake. I'm not going to make someone else pay for it.
But that's when you're 100% sure that you fucked up. Like, what if you're in the gray zone? And you're like, oh, I'm almost doing it. And then those gray zones are the ones that create that hero or zero moves. Like there's a stupid move that if it works out, it actually becomes a good move.
I think that comes from experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say, Sebastian, the hammer is on you. But it just looks like a brain fart. And Bardia, what you could have done
is...
I would have released my brakes. Yeah, I you can see it like from the mirror coming up big time.
If you check my lap 2, turn 1, I think it was race 1.
Yeah, that's a good reaction there. Yeah, that's good. That's the thing, man. Like I have thousands and thousands of iRating that I didn't lose because I learned how to look at the mirror, see the guy, like the car getting bigger in the mirror and just dropping my brakes, abandoning the corner and saving myself. Look at how powerful the side draft is in this car. Look at this. Look. Boom. Faster, 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 faster. Now you go a little bit closer. And then now the speed is equal. Now you're faster. That's how strong the side draft is. And you're not even like exploiting it all. Like you can potentially get even better side draft. So what I do when I see the guys getting side draft is I turn away so that they don't get it. Or what I do is like, and then like, as soon as they're ahead, now I turn left and I get super close to them so that I get the side draft.
Yep.
So you did get it a little bit, but not enough. Okay, so you braked. That's good. Good space on the limit. You got away from giving him the draft.
I just want to make a note that this move could have been done after turn 1. If we go back, can we see the corner entry one more time?
Yep.
So, Barda, do you see how you start angling toward the corner really early and you turn in once, you realize, oh, I turned in too early, and then you have to wait and then turn in again? That loses you a ton of time. Like, yeah, you made the track shorter, but now your apex is a lot earlier and you're having to compensate for that throughout the rest of the corner. If you had waited to stay, if you had turned in a little later, you would have been closer to the guy on your outside and you would have been able to have a cleaner line into the apex. You would have been able to take that later apex and carry speed through the exit. I think the move would have been done right there.
Yep. I think the whole entry under braking here, when you're on the inside, there's an evil thing you can do. You choose when you turn in. You choose when you turn in. You are on the inside. Yeah. You could go straight. I mean, not necessarily straight to the gravel, but like you could go like. You could literally follow. Start turning in by the concrete patch. Like you choose when you turn, and the guy on the left has to wait for you. You can see a lot that in Formula 1. Vettel did that a lot. Leclerc and then Verstappen fighting, they did it a lot. Like on the inside, one thing you can do is just like stay on like very close to him and turn in a little bit later so you can get a better angle. And if you what he did here was the opposite. You turned in too early and gave him the whole world like of space. And now he can set up his good line. And he could pass you on the outside, and he's really benefiting from. He's doing like a very round line.
Ooh.
Okay. Let's forget the incident there. Let's look at this, because I think this is more important. You can learn a lot more from here than from being hit on the exit. You went to the inside, and then you brake, and then you're not having any overlap. You're not getting any good exit. You can commit to go for it and like really go for the move, or you can commit to not go. So in this situation here, you should be committing to getting the best exit possible by taking your line. So like I think the problem is that you went to the inside. You can even potentially go to the inside a little bit here to scare him or to get in their head and then go back into your line. But if you're not planning with full commitment to go to the inside and actually get some overlap, don't go. You either go fully or you don't go. Don't hesitate. As soon as you get here, that's a hesitation moment. You start braking, have no overlap, and then you get a bad exit. And because of that, this guy here, who did commit to use all the track on the left. I mean, he can probably definitely use more, but he's very close to the line, and then he can get this exit and get so much more exit speed than you. So like, I think the problem is not necessarily here. Yes, he could have kept turning to the right to avoid the incident, because I think what he did here is he went Yeah, he just decided to go straight here, and you also came back. You had so much more room right here. Look, all of this you could use. All of this. But you're staying on the curb right now. Like, you could have gone way more to the left, and the incident would not have happened. So an incident like this, many things have to happen in order for an accident like this to happen. That's the crazy part, right? Like, if you didn't have this move here that didn't work because you didn't commit to it and you braked early, then you would not have been in this bad line. You wouldn't have carried such a low speed, and then he wouldn't be here. But then he being here, he could have turned more to the right to avoid it, and you could have used more of the track on the left to avoid it. So all these things have had to happen together for this accident to happen. Any comments from Brian Kane?
Not for me. You covered it well. Very well.
Yeah, like in this corner especially, the exit is the most important thing. Should be fully committed to. Anything you do, you should have that in mind. If it compromises that exit in any way, it's a negative.
Exactly. This is all about exit. This corner is all about exit, and that's actually why you passed me back, Kane, because you're always getting such good exits here. Let's use this example here. Even if you're behind someone, you still gotta get the best exit possible. So what I did here, if you look at my inputs, I lift before I brake. That gives me that tiny breathing room. I start braking soft, and then I go all in for the exit. Now you see in this scenario, they are going side by side, and still I'm braking before them, just so I have this entry room to set up the best exit possible. And then I turn and I go all in for it, and look at how much more cornering speed I have. Of course, I had to back out of it because there was no space, but like, that's the idea. Give yourself the breathing room on entry by lifting, by being careful here, but use all the track, and then you have the choice. See, as soon as I'm here, I have the opportunity to do whatever I want. Like, I can plan a good exit, I can carry more speed, and then choose if I'm gonna make a move or not, or lift. In this case, I lifted, but I had full control of my destiny here, Don't be afraid of being close to cars ahead. Look forward, even though you're behind them. Where do you think I'm looking here? I'm looking at the grass. I'm looking right at the grass there at the end of the access road, because I know that's where I want to be. And then I start lifting here. I know now we are very close to that grass point. So I'm still paying attention to the turning point, and then lifting a little bit earlier, leaving that extra speed, that extra space, so that I can choose my line, and then I can do the whole preparation to get a good exit. Okay, anyone?
Okay, so we're gonna stay out of who's technically in the right, because it doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. That move from the blue car was a little bit suicidal, because you committed to braking as you started cutting off a line that's not a typical line. So first, the effect on the car beside you, and also the effect on the corner. The effect on the car beside you is you take an atypical line and commit really hard to it at the same time. He's just never gonna be ready for that. I know you're trying to cover him off, and you turn before you start braking, but it's very shortly before you start braking, and it's so unexpected that it's very easy to get hit doing that. Now, even if you don't get hit, say you cover him off like that, now you're pointed directly at the inside of the corner. You're gonna have a really, really tight corner radius as you turn in, instead of starting from the outside of the track and being able to take a later apex and carrying speed. Your corner is going to be completely compromised, even if this works out. So, for example, if I was the black car and I managed not to hit you, initially what I could do is I could just go outside, kind of release the brake again, carry more speed, and get a switchback on you.
From a psychological point of view, I think what's happening is that you don't know what options you have in this situation. You started to brake, and then you decided to go to the inside too late. What are you thinking here? What are you thinking here? Like, are you planning what you're going to do? Because what I see is a last second instinctive but primitive decision making that is not backed by your vocabulary of moves that you can do. So yes, lack of experience, but because you have less experience, you don't know what to do. Right here, you decide to do something that you should have decided here. So I think it's a matter of you cannot brake and then change direction. Like braking in racecraft, braking is straight. Like whenever you choose to brake, you should go straight. This is the safest way to determine your plan. Like, okay, am I going to the inside? Great, go to the inside, get a line that you're going to start braking, and then brake straight. Like, are you going to the outside? Okay, go to the outside before you start braking. Everything you do, try to decide that before you start braking. If you start braking and then you make a decision to change that, the car is heavily limited in terms of grip, because now you're trying to stop the car. The car cannot do like what you want, and even if you do, now your competitor is also grip limited and is not capable of reacting to what you do. So the cause of the accident was that your decision to do something was made after you started braking. All this to tell you, you have to think of your options before you start braking. And
Right.
Yeah.
At this point, I would say like you're in the perfect situation you're in the perfect stage of your racecraft technique to actually watch the racecraft checklist, because I have lessons about battle dynamics and I show all the options and all the replays. We analyze these things. The more you watch those things, the clearer your vocabulary is of what things you can do. I think the thing here is that your brain really doesn't have a list of options. It's like all blurred because you don't know exactly what you're going to do. But my tip for you is decide where you're going to be, what lane you're going to be before you start braking. That already helps so much more and already solves most of the issues that you have.
If you have a plan, you can commit to the plan.
Yeah.
And when you commit, you're predictable. Watch your lap 10, Swilio. Almost the exact same situation, but we knew what we was going to do before it happened.
Okay.
So get the side draft, take it away, and no, I'm just about clear, but I want to be predictable, give you time to react. So I cut across you nice and smoothly before the braking zone. I don't try and do it after the braking zone and be unpredictable.
Yeah, it's the best example because like you see, you're clear, you move, and that is like right on the limit, but it's completely legal. And then he brakes on a straight line. Boom. Perfect. You see, and like there's no chaos under braking. As soon as we get under braking, everyone is kind of like on the same line. Kane is always like the benchmark. Like you got the side draft and then you got away from the side draft, and I was thinking about following you, but Hayden was getting bigger in the mirror, so I got a little bit spooked by him. That's why I stayed on the right here. It was a bad move. Like I could have followed you, get your side draft, and I would stay within your speed. I would continue side by side, and I would have fought for the position.
Yeah, but Edward, I don't think that was your fault at all. I think we've all been caught out like that before, where we fully commit to a move, but then the driver in front does something we can't quite react to in time.
Yeah, no, that was definitely not your fault.
Like, he gets clear.
Bro, that's not your fault. There's nothing you can do, honestly. Like, you did release the braking, but like... Actually,
you released the braking to try to go outside, I think.
Yeah, but I think he was never making the corner.
Nah.
Look. He's very fast now. This is the second cone. So, again, like I said, like it takes so many factors at this same time for the accident to happen. Boom. Lesson learned. If you want to learn racecraft to the highest level, learning all the car positioning possibilities, all the kinds of moves and counter moves make sure you check out the RACECRAFT checklist. It's my online course about RACECRAFT, about wheel-to-wheel racing. It's the best you can find about that on the internet. Right now, there's an active discount coupon, YouTube20. It's gonna give you 20% off, and I guarantee you that this is the most detailed and high-level RACECRAFT course you can find on the planet right now. And if you want to join these races, all you need to do is be a student. You can be an Academy member, or if you own the Motor Racing checklist or the RACECRAFT checklist, you can join the races. I will be posting more videos like that every week, so make sure you subscribe to this channel if you want to become a better driver. See ya.